Alright, y'all, man. It's your boy Humble Ali 2 times for me. Back in the video, man, for me. Follow the Instagram at Humble Ali 2 times. Now, look, just today's time we're talking about the truth about Malcolm X. Now, look, for up today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to the Most High in general for everything. I'm also giving you a shout out to myself as well for wanting to receive this good information and give out this good information as well. I'm also giving you a shout out to everyone and to y'all. Y'all literally take energy out of y'all's day to come rock me, show love and support. You feel me? I'm also giving you a shout out to the Most High for giving me these amazing downloads, dropping this amazing good information on me. You feel me, man? No cap. Also, excuse me, also, I'm sending good positive energy towards everyone always. Also, if you want to book a one-on-one consultation with me, DM me on my Instagram at snl2.times. I'm saying it one more time, just DM me on my Instagram at snl2.times. Let's go ahead and get more deep into the video. The truth about Malcolm X. Now look, I rock with Malcolm X, right? I'm no longer Muslim, but I was Muslim for a very long time, right? I recently watched a movie about Malcolm X that Denzel played, right? Watched it a couple days ago, right? But what I want y'all to understand and understand about Malcolm X, right? And I'm just gonna be honest, right? Disclaimer: I have nothing against Muslims. I was once a Muslim for many of years, right? For a very good while of my life. I have nothing against the Nation of Islam. I have nothing against no one. But if you are a Muslim, you might want to click off this video because you might get offended. And if you are a part of the Nation of Islam, you for sure might get offended. So you might want to click off this video now. Now look, let's go ahead and get more deeper to the video. See, Malcolm X, right? He kind of reminds me of myself somewhat, right? I say that because he's very passionate, right? The thing is about Malcolm X, right? If he felt like something was wrong, he was going to speak on it, right? If he felt like this was the truth and he really know that it's the truth, he going to speak on it, right? You're not just going to sit there and just keep it to himself. No, he's going to speak on it. Malcolm X wasn't no scary dude, you know what I'm saying? He was going to speak on what he was going to speak on, you know what I'm saying? The thing is with the Nation of Islam is, and they showed in the movie if you pay close attention, and with the Nation of Islam, they started to envy Malcolm X, right? They started to envy Malcolm X, say little slick things about him, right? You know what I'm saying? And Malcolm X, he respected Elijah Muhammad very, very well, right? But the thing is about Elijah Muhammad is that Elijah Muhammad, he preaches and says certain things, but it's not balancing with his actual life. What I mean by that is that Elijah Muhammad, right, he was having kids, having sex with women, and then not even being there for the kids. If you don't want to be in a relationship with a woman, that's perfectly fine, but it's imperative to be there for your kids, in my opinion, right? But he wasn't doing that, right? You know what I'm saying? Elijah Muhammad, I've heard that he's done a lot of, maybe not so good things. I may have heard, maybe so, right? And, once Malcolm was starting to get bigger and bigger and starting to grow more and more, the Nation of Islam, that they turned on him. They started to dislike him, right? They feel like he was being, Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam, they feel like he was being too comfortable. They feel like he was sharing too much information, right? You see what I'm saying, bro? Because what a lot of y'all don't realize about the Nation of Islam, who runs the Nation of Islam? The so-called higher-ups. Now, I know that may hurt a lot of y'all's hearts after hearing that, but it's the honest truth. And like I don't, like maybe so, like I mean no disrespect, but it's the honest truth. You can go do research and figure it out yourself. The Nation of Islam is ran by the higher-ups. Farrakhan, as you may know him as Brother Farrakhan, he's worked with the higher-ups, right? Brother Farrakhan, well, he's not my brother, but as people know him as Brother Farrakhan, Farrakhan is a sellout. Yes, I called him a sellout because that's what he is. He's a sellout, right? All your religions, right? Even Buddhists. Yes, even Buddhists. Hinduism. Every religion is all controlled and all ran by the higher-ups, the so-called people who rule this world. Right? See, Malcolm X, he was starting to speak too much truth for the Nation of Islam, right? The Nation of Islam and Elijah Muhammad, they was getting very sick and tired of Malcolm X because Malcolm X, he has a very strong throat chakra. Pause. And what that means is that if he's gonna say something, he's gonna say it, right? Maybe not 100% all the time, but If he got something, if he feel like this is like something right or this is what he want to say, he's gonna say it. Maybe so, right? And the Nation of Islam, they didn't like that. They feel like he was getting too much power, right? They feel like Malcolm X was overly doing it. It felt like Malcolm X was overly playing his role, right? And then eventually, you know, Malcolm X, he did, also, disclaimer, if you haven't seen the movie Malcolm X and you want to see it, you might want to click off this video now. I probably should have maybe been said this, but you might want to click off this video now just so you might not get spoiled. But yeah, so look, right, yes, Malcolm X, he eventually left the Nation of Islam, right? And the thing is, right, what a lot of y'all don't realize is that, like I said, Farrakhan, he works with the higher ups. Elijah Muhammad, he works with the higher ups as well, right? Who are the higher ups? The higher ups, even though they're not actually higher ups, the higher ups are the people who so-called rule this system, that so-called rule this matrix. The reason why you work a job, or if you don't have a certain amount of money, you won't be in that house or that apartment no more. The people who control the sports, who control the fast food restaurants, the people who control Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, you know, your phones, Apple, etc. Right? You see what I'm saying? Because Elijah Muhammad, he's also a sellout. And I say that with all due respect, but it's the honest truth. He's also a sellout. Elijah Muhammad he has worked with the higher ups. And the higher ups, those are not good people. Those are very low vibrational people. Very low vibrational individual people. And I'm not here to be disrespectful. I'm not here to try to cause any harm to anybody. I'm just telling you the truth. If you don't like what I'm saying, that is perfectly fine. But instead of getting upset at me, you actually might want to go do some research and dig a little more deeper. Because if you continue to keep digging, eventually you will see exactly what I'm talking about, and maybe even more of what I'm saying. Right? See, Malcolm X, what a lot of y'all don't realize about Malcolm X is that he spoke his mind. Not just his mind, he spoke from the soul a lot of times, right? And like I said, maybe so, like Elijah Muhammad, they didn't like that. Right? It was getting too big for them. It was getting too popular for them. Right? And how Elijah Muhammad was looking at it, it's like, yo, the stuff that he's saying, he started to feel like it was going to fall back on him. Because remember, Elijah Muhammad, he worked for the higher ups, so-called higher ups. And since he was working with the so-called higher ups, of course the higher ups gonna be like, yo, there's certain things we don't want y'all talking about. There's certain things we don't want y'all doing. For an example, with rappers that sell out, there's certain things they can talk about and there's certain things they can't really talk about, if you've noticed. Or if they do talk about it, they kind of like tell you in like hints, kind of like a riddle. You ever watched the Batman movie with Riddler, where like you tell you riddles, right, before he actually does something? Like he might explode a whole building, but he'll kind of like leave riddles around the building before actually exploding the building, giving you signs, giving you hints, right? Telling you, in other words, beware of caution, right? Maybe so, right? You see what I'm saying? So, and the thing is with Malcolm X, right? See, these people, the higher ups killed Malcolm X, right? But they make it seem like some black dude killed Malcolm X. No, the higher ups killed Malcolm X. See, that was a chess move. But a lot of people don't know that's a chess move because one, a lot of people don't even play chess. Two, a lot of people don't even study chess. And then three, a lot of people don't even think that the higher ups are bad people. And then four, a lot of people don't even know who the higher ups are, etc. Maybe so. You see what I'm saying? So that was a chess move. Yes, the black guy killed Malcolm X, but he was paid for that. He was an agent, right? Because a lot of people think agents aren't real. It's multiple agents. Like I've said before, your own neighbor might be an agent. I'm just being real. I'm not trying to put you in fear, none of that. I'm just being honest on that. You see what I'm saying? Yes, the black guy did kill Malcolm X, but the original, the true person who killed Malcolm X is the so-called higher ups, because the higher ups assigned that agent to kill Malcolm X. That black person. And you know why they had that black guy kill Malcolm X? So it could divide us. They wanted us to spread out because we was coming together. When Malcolm X was talking, a lot more people was coming together. But once Malcolm X died, and then it was by somebody who was black that killed him, a lot of us started to disconnect from one another. That's one of the main reasons why they had a black person kill Malcolm X. It was a chess move. They used a pawn to take down Malcolm X. It was a chess move. The higher ups could have killed Malcolm X themselves, but they didn't, because they wanted to set a certain tone. They wanted to set a certain frequency. They wanted to set a certain energy. You see what I'm saying, bro? But look, man, if you want to book a one-on-one consultation with me, DM me on my Instagram at snl2.times. I'm gonna say it one more time. If you want to book a one-on-one consultation with me, DM me on my Instagram at snl2.times. And I'll catch y'all from on the next one, man. Peace.